there, and welcome to Sheeran Guitar Tutorials. My name's David, and in today's lesson, I'll be teaching you how to play the live version of Perfect by Ed Sheeran. You'll need your guitar in standard tuning, and you won't need a capo. Let's jump on in. Alright, so starting first with the chords. First up is a G5 chord, played like this. Next is a normal G chord, played like this. Next is a C add 9, played like this. A C sus2, played like this. A traditional C chord, played like this. Another C sus2 chord, but to distinguish this from the other one, I'm calling it a C sus2 prime. You also need a normal D chord, a D sus4, you also need a D sus4 over F sharp, an E minor 7, and then a normal E minor chord. Alright, so now getting into the picking and the strumming a little bit. We'll start with the picking because that's majorly what you'll be doing for playing this song. So all you really need to know is that regardless of the chord that you're playing, your thumb is responsible for picking your low E string, your A string, and your D string. Your index is responsible for plucking your G string. Your middle finger is responsible for plucking the B string. And your ring finger is responsible for plucking the high E string. So no matter what chords you see throughout this song, if you remember that information, you'll know how to pluck each chord. But just very quickly, for example, if I was playing a G5 chord, I would pluck that low E with my thumb, the D with my thumb, the G string with my index, the B with my middle finger, the G again with my index, and then the D again with my thumb. For a chord like a C add 9, you'd be plucking that A string and the D string with your thumb, G with your index, B with your middle finger, G with your index again, and D with your thumb. And then for something like a D chord, you'd be plucking that D string with your thumb, G with your index, B with your middle finger, high E with your ring finger, G again with your index, and then B again with your middle finger. Moving on to the strumming now, Ed will typically start strumming during the last chorus of the song, so it's important to learn this. And to play the song the way Ed does live, you'll need two strumming patterns that are pretty similar. Strumming pattern number 1 just sounds like this. You'll notice I have 2 strums there bolded. That's just to tell you to make those strums be a little bit louder than the other strums. So with the bolded strums, strumming pattern 1 sounds like this. But if you didn't include those bold strums, strumming pattern 1 would sound like this. So with the bolded strums, without the bolded strums. You can see those bolded strums just give the song the kind of rhythm you want. And then there's strumming pattern 2, which is essentially the exact same thing as strumming pattern 1, except the second and third down strum of that first chunk of 3 I have in lowercase letters. And that's just to tell you that Ed will do very, very light down strums for those 2 strums. So if you don't like this, you don't actually need to use this strumming pattern. But again, if you're trying to play the song as similar to Ed as you possibly can, it does seem like he makes those 2 strums extra light when he plays the song live. So strumming pattern 2 would just sound like this. figured I should explain the solo to you because solos can be tricky if you're not used to playing them. Now, right up front, Ed doesn't actually play this solo in his live performance. He just plays the rhythm guitar part of the solo. But the solo isn't too hard, and I know how to play it, so I figured I'd include it in the video. So to start, let me show you how the solo should sound, just so you know what you're shooting for. Okay, so starting with section 1 of 5, you start with your index finger on the 5th fret of the A string and pluck that. And then you're going to hammer on to the 7th fret of the A string with your ring finger. So that sounds like this. You then move to the D string and fret the 5th fret with your index and pluck that. Then fret the 7th fret of the D with your ring finger and pluck that. And then pluck the 7th fret of the D string again and slide up to the 9th fret. So those last 3 notes all together sound like this. And all together, part 1 of the solo sounds like this. And you can kind of do a little wiggle on the 9th fret of the D string there with your ring finger if you want to add a little vibrato to it. On to part 2. You're still on the 9th fret of the D string with your ring finger, and you're going to pluck that again. You then put your index back on the 7th fret of the D string and pluck that. Then you move your index to the 5th fret of the D string and pluck that. So those 3 plucks sound like this. You then put your ring finger back on the 7th fret of the D, and you're going to pluck that, slide up to the 9th fret of the D, slide back to the 7th fret of the D, and then pull off to the 5th fret of the D, and you're going to want to have your index on the 5th fret of the D to receive that pull off. And so I played that pretty slow there, but all this happens pretty quick when you're playing it in rhythm with the song. And it really does only require 1 pluck at the very beginning before doing all of those hammer-ons and pull-offs. It's a bit tricky, but practice it a lot and you'll definitely get it. So all together, section 2 sounds like this. And sections 1 and 2 together sound like this. Section 3 is a direct copy of section 1, so I won't go over that again, but just to show you the first 3 sections all played together, it would sound like this. Section 4 starts with your index on the 7th fret of the D string and plucking that. Then going to the 5th fret of the D string with your index and plucking that. Putting your ring finger back on the 7th fret of the D string and plucking that. And then you pluck the 7th fret of the D string again and slide up to the 10th fret. So all of section 4 together sounds like this. And the first 4 sections of the solo all together sound like this. Section 5 is pretty simple now. It's just putting your index on the 9th fret of the D and plucking that. Moving that index to the 7th fret of the D and plucking that. Moving the index to the 5th fret of the D and plucking that. Putting your ring finger back on the 7th fret of the D and plucking that. Now putting your index finger back on the 5th fret of the D and plucking that. And then finally putting your index finger on the 4th fret of the D and plucking that. So all of section 5 together sounds like this. So you add that to the other 4 sections and you have the entirety of the guitar solo. So one last time, that would sound like this. And so that's the entirety of the song. So what I'll do now is do a full playthrough of the song to give you something to practice and play along to. Enjoy. entirety of the lesson. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like and leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel as there's many more Ed Sheeran tutorials to come in the near future. Thank you.